third practical is means generation of the literal table for 2-pass assembler. So for that one literal, you should know what is the literal for the generation of that table, right? So basically there is always question is that what is the difference between the literal and the constant. So understand it one and then means start to write the program. So literal is an operand with syntax equal to sign and then quote. Okay. So here equal to 5, equal to 10, like that one. Its location cannot be specified in assembly program and is known to assembly language programming. Is not known to assembly language programmer. So its value cannot change during the execution of program. Right? So these two statements are sufficient to understand a little. So first of all, whatever the value present in quote, single quote, is your literal. Okay. Why? Because you think that, ma'am, in single quote maybe the symbol is present, identifier is present. No. In assembly language program, single quote is used only for the literals. Right? So for example, add a register comma equal to 5. Okay. So this is one of the statement in your assembly language program. And your question is generate the literal table for this program. So very easy. So we know that what is the logic here? That is the whatever the present in your single quote is the literal. So you have to identify the literals present into your program and display it on your screen. That's it. Right? So now what is the meaning of this one? That is the first add a register 5 and 5 is declared somewhere right into the memory. But the developer or the programmer don't know the location of this literal. Okay, where it is saved, we don't know about it. So we cannot change the value during the execution of the program. Okay, just means fix it into mind that we cannot change the value of the literals during the execution of the program. What is the reason? Because programmer or the developer don't know that where is that literal saved or stored. अगर location ही पता नहीं है, then we cannot change it, right? And always literal is written as a equal to and the quote sign. This is the best example. Okay, so suppose sometimes this equal to sign is not there, but this quote is always there, mandatory, because to display the literal we always use the quote, right? So now next, what is the constant? Okay, so it is opposite to literal, so its value can be changed during the execution, because we know that where is the constant stored, right? So during the execution, if we want, we can change the value. And how the literal constant is used or written into your program? That is simple example, that is the add a register comma 5, right? So this 5 is a constant. So you can see here the difference. When you write the any digit or the constant into quote, then it is called as a literal. When you write only the constant 5, 10, 15, 20, then it is called as a simple means constant, and we can change the value during the execution of our program. Okay, so now this is sufficient to write the today's program. Now we will see what we have to do in program, right? What are the problem statements and what are the objectives, right? So this is the, I think you have understood this one. What is the literal? Again, we will revise in our lab manual. Okay, so this is our experiment number 3. So what is the name of the experiment? Design of pass 1 of 2-pass assembler to generate the literal table. Okay, we have seen the passes of language processor, right? So that is the in pass 1. If you remember in yesterday's lecture, that is the different analysis are there. Okay, So in the past one, so a lot of tables are generated: identifier table, symbol table, or you can say symbol table, then constant table, literal tables. If literal is present, then literal is generated, literal table is generated. Then operators table. These are the outputs of this past one. So now in this experiment number 3, now we have to write the code for the generation of this literal table. So aim of this practical is write a C program to generate literal table for pass 1 of 2 pass assembler. Again here pass 1, pass 2 is their same concept we have learned in LP, means language processor. Similar concept is applied to here. Little bit change is there for this assembler, but same concept is there. So in this experiment, we will start to write the C program to generate this literal table. Okay, so what are the prerequisites required? That is the difference between constant and literal. We have seen. Now you have understood that how to differentiate between this constant and literal, right? So now next objectives to learn design of pass 1 of 2 pass assembler. Okay, you have the little bit idea about the pass 1. Okay, we have covered for the LP, but within the next 1 or 2 lectures, we will finish this pass 1 of this assembler. Okay, very similar. And second one, to generate the literal table for assembly language program. Okay, as I told you that whatever the literals present into your program, that you have to add into your table. Maybe 2 literals are there, 3 literals are there. One by one, you have to add into table. Right? So now next that we have seen, that is the literal and the constant. Again, I am telling you for the latecomers that literals are always written in quote. So whatever the present in the quote into your program, that is called as a literal. Just remember it. Right? And what are the constant? Constant means the digits without the quote. We haven't used the quote, single quote for the constants. And we cannot change the literal value. Okay, literal value, because we don't know the location of that literal, where that literal is stored, saved. And here we can easily change the value of this constant during the execution if it is required. Okay, so we will see the literal pool in theory lecture, because we will not confuse all these things here. Only focus on literal table, right? So now I think here you have understood that what we have to do. I will just explain here, that is the algorithm. Okay, then we will go for the code. So first one, that is the start. Then second one, declare the structure for literal table, means you can declare any one array for to store the literals in that array. Then third one, read the input file. Now here just listen carefully that now your input means what? One of the assembly language program where the literals are present. Okay, so that program is stored in one of the file. So now here you have to give the input through your file. Okay, so for that one you should know the file operations, file concept in the C language, right? So first step is generation of this input file. File create करनी पड़ेगी आपको. So how you have to do it, I will again explain you. Next one, scan the input file character by character till end of file. Okay, so read that file. Whatever the data present, means your assembly program, read it one by one, character by character, because we have to identify the literal present into your assembly language program. If scan character is literal, make entry of it in array defined for storing the literals. right? Suppose you are able to identify the literal. So obviously what you have to do, you have to say that literal in one of the array, right? Then display the array of the literals in output file. Okay, here we will not display our output on in one of the file. We will do that task in the next practical. Okay, because there are the lot of things that we have to do in today's practical. First of all, understand how to read the file. Okay, and in next practical we will do reading of file and displaying of output in one of the output file. Both the tasks we will do in the next practical. So in today's practical, you have to learn first of all how to read the file, okay, and you should be able to display it on your screen, and then end is there, right? So now this is the simple algorithm and the flow that you have to follow to write the program. Okay, so here now my question is that I have explained here everything. How to identify the literals, what logic you will apply to identify the literals present in your input file. So this is your input file. Can anyone tell me in program how you can identify the literal? Answer is in front of you.
Any single quotes, anything enclosed by single quotes.
Yes, good job. So correct answer. So you can see here, as I told you, what is the literal? So whatever the present in your single quote. Okay, so I am just repeating that whatever, because we know that in the assembly language program that single quote is only used for the literal. उसका यूज ही सिर्फ असेंबली लैंग्वेज प्रोग्राम में लिटरल डिफाइन करने के लिए होता है. So whatever the present in this single quote is the literal, right? So here now you can see this is your input file. One simple assembly language program is there, right? So now in this assembly language program, you can see number of the lines are there, number of the symbols are there, right? Here that is the memory declaration is there. Okay, so now here X declare DS01. So basically for the DS, it is not use the code. We can, most of the time we use the DC. In today's lecture, you will understand it. So, but now here we can use this program, no problem. Or you can do here that is the DC, declare the constant. Okay. So now 01, 02, 03 and 04. You can see here that is the 4 literals are there. Right? So now here that is the 4 literals are there. Now our job is to identify these literals by scanning this input program character by character and display it on our screen. And then end of program is there. Alright. So now your first task, that is the create first of all this input file. Okay, I will tell you how to create it. Just we will see what will be our output. Okay, I want this output like this one. Simple, that is the heading to your table, that is the literal table. Okay, so it is tables, obviously serial numbers are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So how many literals, as I told you, that is 4 literals are there. So in your table, one by one, you have to add these 4 literals after the scanning. Read it, display, that's it. In last practical itself, we have done the same thing. Right? So display print करने कैसे करना है? So little bit you are now you know these things, right? So now finally we are getting this table, that is the literal table. So this is our today's task. Okay. So the now question is how to generate this input file. Very simple. You can generate it anywhere onto your we can say that either desktop, or we can say that either on your specific location. Suppose generate this text file. Okay, so give the input, means name, any name to that text file, right? What you have to do, just copy paste this program. Okay, means I'm doing copy paste, so you either type it or I'll share it in the chat box. Okay, so now here you can see your input file is ready. Okay, so now you have to scan this input file one by one line हमें scan करना है. Then we have to identify these letters and just display it. Okay, so this input file is ready. Okay, so we will start to write the code. So I hope that now for the coding your platform is ready. In last practical session itself I have told you that in next practical we have to do the file operation. So online compiler is not useful. You can use the Eclipse, you can use the code blocks or Visual Studio, right? So the first of all, add these 3 header files. So that is sufficient. In last session I have told you the total 5 header files. So that are means sufficient for whole the practical sessions from 1 to 7, right? So if you think that ma'am how to decide ki, I don't know about the very much about the C language processing, how to decide which header files I should add into program. So just don't confuse yourself, add all the files, you will get the output, right? So if you don't know that okay, how these header files are used, just copy paste all these header files. 5 header files हर एक program में copy paste करके चलो, obviously you will get the output. Okay, so now next your main program. So integer main function, then here bracket is there. Okay, so first of all understand the logic, those who are new to the C programming, and then you go for the means do this program on your side. So integer I equal to 0, L equal to 1, right? So here you can see that is the I equal to 0 is used obviously for one of the loop, we can say, or for the array. Here L equal to 1. Why this variable I have taken L equal to 1? Because you can see in the output I want to display serial numbers. And you can see here I have just initialized this L equal to starting from the 1. Right, because the serial numbers are started from the 1. So 1 2 3 4. Don't confuse ma'am, it is initialized with the 0 and it is initialized with the 1. Why? Just simple logic. Serial number हमेशा हमारा we started with the 1, so initialize that variable with 1 because we are using this L to displaying this serial number. Okay, next I have just initialized one array, that is name of that array is LIT. You can give any name. So it is related to the literal, so I have given that is the LIT. Size of that array is 10. Okay. So now next, just I have told you that we have to use the file operation, and already we have created our input file. Now our input file is ready, right? So now file star and this small file means it is the name of the file. Okay, so this name is not means it is not mandatory that you have to use file itself. No, you can use anything, f1 f2, you can give your name. Okay, no problem, right? So now first file, this is mandatory to write like this one, and then star, it is your name of the file, right? So now this next you can see file equal to fopen. Now we are going to read our input file. Okay, so now file, this is again your name of the file. Okay, जो नाम यहाँ पे दिया है same name you have to use for this next statement. So which is equal to fopen. Now you can see here, this is the path to your input file. And this path you have to carefully copy it from your created file. Just now we have created the input file, right? So copy the path of that input file and paste it. Okay, so again one more time, when you copy, you will get the path till folder, or the name of that file is not included in that path. So after that you have to write the name of the file, that input.txt. Now again, input is, I have given the name to the file, that is the input. That's why I have written input. Okay, in the last batch, I have observed that they have created the file with the different name. But in explanation, I have told you that give the name that is input.txt, and they have given the same name into their program. And that's why they are unable to give the, means to get the output. So this is the name of your file. My file name is input. You can see here, right? Just now I have created this input file, right? So that's why I have given the name, that is the input.txt, right? So now here, suppose you generated, that is the experiment number 3.txt. Yes, you have to write here exp3.txt. Okay, and what operation we have to do on that file? That is the read operation. So I have added here r plus. You can add only r, still you will get the output. Okay, so reading operation I have to do. So I have just write here, that is the r plus. Suppose you are writing operation, you are just displaying output. In next practical session, we will learn how to display output in one of the file, how to write the output. So at that time we will use here, that is the write operation, for write operation w. Okay, now only focus on reading of input file. We will not confuse between these two. That's why I removed that writing of the output in other file. So here, that is the small r plus I have used. Okay, that's it. For the file operation, these two are sufficient. Now next one, I have to give the title or the heading to my table. So printf literal table. Okay, one more time I'm just revising you. Please copy this path carefully. Okay, 90% errors are this one. You will not get the error, but you will not get the output if this path is wrong. Okay, what are the conditions? So you have forgot to change this. We can say that that is the backslash to the front slash. You forgot to write the name of that file. So these are the common mistakes, and you're struggling to get the output. Okay, so next printf, just give the any name, literal table, whatever you want, do the decoration for that one, right? So next one, I have declared one more array, that is name of that array is a, size of that array is 10, and it is initialized with the 0. Okay, now you means think that, ma'am, why you have declared these two arrays? Yes, you can do within one array itself, no problem. Okay, within only one array, you can also do this program. It is totally depend on you. Okay, so now character c equal to 0, one variable, one more variable I have declared. Okay, so till now this is totally the all the initialization process is there. Okay, and now from the next line we have to apply our logic. Okay, I hope that you have understood till here, because only the declarations and initialization process is there, right? So now next one we will do. So while we have to scan the program, character by character scanning karna hai. So what you can use for that one, that is FEOF. This not mark is there. So you have to scan the file till the end of file. EOF means end of file. And you can see this not mark here, right? And what is this file? This is the name of your file. It is not like the file means file scan करनी है इसलिए हमने FILE file लिखा है. No, it is my name of file. You can see here. I have given the name simple, that is the FILE file. Right? So now bracket, open bracket, and read the character. So C is equal to F get C file. So I will read here, that is the one simple. This is not included here. So suppose add a register comma, we can say that is simple. You are within a code, that is the 5 is there. Okay, now this is my assembly statement is there. Now in this assembly statement, my literal is 5. You can easily means identify it. Now when you just scan your character, so first one here you are getting the first character by fgetc file c is equal to, so that is the A. Now in this C your character is A. Okay, one by one we will just scan it and read all the character. So now next condition is that if is there, so if C equal to start of this single quote. How to use this? You just carefully here you can see, right? So this is the sign means used to identify the startup single quote in C programming, right? Write it carefully. Most of you also done the mistake here. So you have to check in that C variable. Is there startup single quote? No, it is not, because in this C A is there. So first we have read the A. Then obviously you cannot enter this loop and again you read the next one. So what is the next? That is the D. फिर से चेक करेगा यहाँ पे. If C is equal to startup single quote है क्या? No. No need to go enter means आप जाओगे नहीं अंदर लूप के अंदर. You again will continue. बाहर से आप continue करोगे and you will read the next character. Likewise, कब तक होगा ये? जब तक आप यहाँ तक नहीं आते. Okay, when you are here, then again you are out of the loop and again reading the next character. What is the next character? Here you can see your next character is this first single quote. Now in this C, your first single quote is there. So if C is equal to startup single quote, yes. Now here condition is true. Yes, there is a start of this single quote is there. So enter into the loop. What we have to do? We don't have to print that single quote. So read the next character. So C is equal to fgetc file. Take the next one. fgetc से हमने next character read किया from the file. Now in C, your character is 5. Just remember, we don't have to print that single quote. We have to print the value present in that single quote. Whatever the value, suppose I will take here 2-digit literal, so 0. So first one, suppose first value is 0. Okay, it will be the helpful to understand the loop. So now my character in this C is 0. Immediately print करना है क्या? No. Why? Because we have to check is it where means it is the literal or end of single quote. So again one more condition I have applied. So what is that? That is the while C is not equal to your end of single quote. You can see here. Because sometimes what happen, only single quote is there. By mistake, there is a forgot to add this literal value. Suppose ऐसा रहा, 05 is not there, only that single quotes are there. What will happen? Suppose you immediately print here that single means that value of this C, the obviously you will get the output that is only single quotes. So we don't have to print the single quote. We have to print the values present in that single quote. So now check whether C is not equal to end of single quote. Yes, it is not equal because our C value is 0. Right, then your loop. So what you have to do? So you have to copy that C into A of the I. So we have declared one array, right? So what is the name of that array? That is the A. Now you are able to identify the literal. So save that, store that literal into your array, right? So now first literal is there, that is the 0, right? So now next what you have to do? Increment this I plus plus. I means what? This is the location of this array. First location हो गया. Now increment this I plus plus. Go to the next location in that array. Now next क्या करना है? Read the next character. What is the read next character? That is the 5. Okay, here your value is c equal to 5. So now your loop is closed. Now while loop में आप check करोगे, if c is not equal to your end of code, yes, it is not equal to end of code. Why? Because in your c your value is 5. So आप enter करोगे क्या loop में? Yes, obviously you have to enter in this loop. What is the next task? If it is not the end of single quote, then copy that into array because obviously it is literal. So copy करने के बाद क्या आएगा यहाँ पे? That is the 0 and then 5. Then increment this I plus plus. Increment करके रखो because suppose one more digit is there in this literal. Suppose 3 digit होगा, then you have to store on this next location of this array. Okay, read the next character. Now you have to understand here that in your array, your next character is end of this single quote. Second single quote jo hai, end of single quote, that is into your character C. Because now we are done with this literal. So now here you have to check. C is not equal to your end of single quote. No, it is false. It is equal to end of single quote. So just आप out हो जाओगे इस loop से. Now you cannot enter this loop because here condition is false. So what you have to do at the end? So you have to add null character into your array. So now your array is done. You have stored the literal. At the end, you have to end this one with your null character. It indicates that your string is ended or characters that you have entered or stored in that array is ended. And initialize this I equal to 0. Why? Because we have to print the literals. So now your I value is here. So initialize it with the 0. Means यहाँ पे आ जाएगी. Okay. So now data is stored into this array. What is the name of that array? That is the A. Now copy that data into LIT. What is the operation? strcpy, string copy. Okay, simply add. And then printf %d. %d for what? For displaying the serial numbers. You can see here that is I have used the L. L I have initialized with 1. And then percentage to print your data present into your LIT array. And this here L++ is very, very important. Most of you have forgot about this one and you are getting, what will happen due to that? You are getting here serial numbers 1, 1, 1, 1 and you confuse what happened. Why I'm not getting 1, 2, 3, 4? Because you forgot to add these L++. L++ means increment that L value for each iteration, right? And at the end, carefully you have to close all the, we can say that is the loops, opening bracket and then closing brackets. Okay, so this while loop is very, very important. This is your logic. Remaining things are you already know that initialization, declaration, all these things. Okay, one more time. Suppose you use only one array for this program. So no need to copy this one. You can directly print this A array on your display. Okay. So try to execute it and we will see what will happen. Are you able to get the program? Because this is a very, very we are learning the new things, file operation also. So we will try to solve the most of the errors